Money Radio, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure to welcome Laura Bramnick from TalkRealEstateAZ.com. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Sinclair.
I wanted to continue on with the conversation that we started last week because it was a really scary
Very
situation.
scary. There's too many scams out there.
First of all, let me introduce Laura Bramnick. She is an attorney, she is a real estate agent, she's a consumer advocate as well. Laura holds a real estate license, and she can help with residential, commercial, or land transactions. She is also licensed through the State Bar of Arizona, certified instructor with the Arizona Department of Real Estate as well. 480-624-2705 is the phone number, 480-624-2705, and the website is talkrealestateaz.com. We were talking last week and you told me about a scam that you had become aware of, where someone is selling a property without a written contract.
Yes.
And I was shocked to hear about it. I couldn't imagine that that takes place, but this was a situation where someone had gone through a short sale, then the person bought it at short sale, then contacted a family member and said, I'll sell it back to you.
Yes. And of course, that wasn't disclosed during the short sale, so that's a problem with the lender. And because not only does the seller, meaning the person that was underwater, the original owner of the property, not only do they sign an arm's length affidavit, but the buyer of the property, in this case the scammer, signs an arm's length affidavit. And basically it says that you're not going to sell to somebody that's a family member or someone that you think may have an interest in the property that we wouldn't approve. In other words, you have to disclose that,
Right.
unless you're going to sell it to a third party that you don't know for market value. And so there, that's where the first fraud occurs.
Right.
And now and then a lot of times he'll tell the family member, well, I bought this from your daughter's lender, so we can't do the paperwork yet. We have to wait for some time to pass. That kind of thing.
But in reality, you should have a written contract
Yes.
on any kind of real estate transaction.
Yes. There's so much money to be lost if you don't. I mean, there's so many problems if you don't have a written contract. You have no proof that you've purchased the property. Then you don't get a deed. You get no title insurance. I mean, the list goes on and on and on because you paid for the property, but you have nothing to show for it. You may be in possession of the property as well, but in the scenario that I was describing last week, where the scammer borrowed against it because he still had title in his name, now you only have possession temporarily because the scammer doesn't pay the loan he borrowed and it gets foreclosed in trustee sale, and the scammer gets away with that because of our anti-deficiency laws.
So the scammer took out a short-term loan against the property,
Yeah.
while also supposedly selling it to someone else.
Yeah, usually from a hard money lender.
Uh-huh.
And
that hard money lender could then come in and foreclose.
And that's what happens, and they foreclose by trustee sale, and because that's the simplest, quickest, easiest way for them to foreclose. And then you think you've purchased the property, you have possession of the property, and then you get kicked out by the innocent third-party purchaser who buys it at the trustee sale.
So a family loses a property in short sale,
Mm-hmm.
and then another family member comes in, thinks that they're buying the property, helping out the family to save
Right.
the property, only to see it go out from underneath them in a foreclosure.
Yeah, and they lose money, they lose possession of the property, and their recourse can be limited. They can sue the scammer, but he
That
probably
might
has
be
set up.
difficult
Yeah,
to collect anything,
he
right?
probably has set up an LLC, and maybe you can pierce the LLC because he or she's committed fraud. But many times these people they don't keep much money you know, they're buy property, sell it, buy more property. They don't keep money in their bank account because they're scamming more people than you, and also because you bought a property that was short sold by a family member. The court may see you as not coming in with what we call clean hands, which means there's a taint on the fact that the lender wouldn't have sold it to you as a family member, so you can't buy it, or second hand through the scammer. Although you may not realize that. I mean, you're an innocent third party, but that doesn't mean that the court would rule in your favor.
That's the old thing, ignorance of the law is not a defense.
That's correct. Ignorance of the law. And the scammer will tell you, don't sue me because you won't prevail because you bought your daughter's short sale. You know what I'm saying? So it's just they really have all the bases covered.
Wow.
And they need to be prosecuted.
Yeah, so be aware that scams exist out there. This is a particularly egregious example of a scam.
Yeah.
And when you told me initially someone was buying and selling a property without a written contract, I went, well, that's just crazy.
Yes.
Who would do that?
Right.
But somebody would. But really sometimes it's a reminder as well that there are certain things that may not be quite as blatant.
Right.
That we should watch out for.
Yeah, people say, I don't want to use a realtor, so, I don't have the forms. And it can be people that are trying to save money and they don't realize how much money they can lose.
Well, the correct response there is if somebody is saying, I don't have the forms or whatever it may be, or even if they do have a form, even if they do have a contract, that contract may not be particularly well suited for you and your transaction.
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, the ones you get off the internet, they don't necessarily protect you in your particular situation.
So I would say whatever it is, any situation dealing with real estate, it is smart to have an attorney such as Laura Bramnick review it. Even if it looks like a standard situation, review it. Every piece of property in Arizona is unique.
Yes, it is.
Every person in Arizona is unique. Every circumstance is unique. And always, always, an ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure. In some cases, even more.
Yes.
So, contact Laura on anything. 480-624-2705. 480-624-2705. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. TalkRealEstateAZ.com. Laura Bramnick, always a pleasure, always good info. Thank you.
Thanks, Sinclair.